Hello, this is Nick995. For this video, we'll be talking about Infamous 1 story and Prototype 1. If you go back and watch my other video, go back and watch my video, top 10 stories of all time. Like my favorite video game stories of all time. Infamous is going to be on that list. And I talked about that. About this video, I'm going to be expanding more on it. I love both these stories. In terms of superhero stories, superhero slash super villain stories. And yeah, so Infamous 1, like if you know like I said the other day, Infamous basically means like you're getting famous, like you're well known for starting like a crisis or getting like involved for a crisis. So you're famous for something bad. So Infamous 1 now, you have this guy, Cole McGrath. There's a delivery man, some man delivers him like a package. Then it's a race fair. So the race fair basically gives people, the scientists have been experimenting with this thing, physics, I can't say the word. People like who study physics, they study this device or whatever there. So it's able to channel energy like into one person. So basically what happened, Cole McGrath, he's a delivery man, so he opens the package, and then like he accidentally activates the race sphere. So the race sphere blows up. It blows up like, oh my god, like at least 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. So like you see like, I really see the carnage like of this explosion. So like it blows up, and then it kills anybody. It basically kills any human like in that area, but it gives one person powers. But this person, okay, like if you play the Infamous games more into Infamous 2, basically the lore says that, okay, anybody with this conduit gene survives the storm or the explosion, then they get like some sort of manipulation or elemental power. So Cole McGrath now, the racer blows up, he activates it. It blows up a 2 kilometer block or whatever, and then it kills about 2,000 people or so. That's a lot of people die, and then people have no idea like what's going on, if it's a natural disaster or whatever. So like he basically gets powers from this. He gets powers or whatever, but he has no idea. He wakes up in the carnage, in the in the destruction like of the city. And then, he has no idea what goes on. Then, like, later on, he realized that he has electric powers. So he can, basically manipulate electricity. He can absorb it. He can use it as offensive powers. He can throw electric grenades, electric bolts, all sorts of things. Yeah, so it's a very unique, unique story. Very, 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 unique. And then, as you play on, you obviously expand like on your power sets, but then people have what you did, like you accidentally activating the race sphere. People have that like on camera. There's like there was like a certain surveillance system watching you or whatever, and then it's on the news all over that, oh, this guy, he a terrorist, he did this, he did that, and everybody starts to hate on you or whatever, and then like they're throwing rocks at you. There's riots in the streets. Then you have like these reapers or whatever. They're coming up. They're terrorizing people. Then you have to stop them. And then there's a lot of there's basically, and then Cole's girlfriend, like in the start of the game, she doesn't trust you anymore, and she doesn't trust you because, again, everybody thinks that like you're a terrorist, except for one person, except for 2 people. This one FBI agent, and then there's your best friend Zeke. Then you guys go, there's like you guys try and uncover like truth to be, the truth behind this race fear. Like, what is a race fear? Who created it, and how can you control your powers? And yeah, but yeah, so I really like that whole thing. So people hating on you because of the news, they see that, okay, this guy's a terrorist or whatever, and then you get to choose whether like you be the good guy or the bad guy. So like you really get to choose. Like there's one where, okay, like there's these doctors. It's spoilers. So there's these doctors, right? Then there's this villain. He's about to kill these doctors. There are about 10 doctors, and then so like on one building there's a doctors. On the other building there's your girlfriend. She's about to die. So like you have to choose. Do you kill the doctor? No, like do you? I can only save one. Do you let your girlfriend die, or let the doctors die? And then through this you get to really decide, like if you go for your girlfriend, you're gonna be, the way the game is set up, you're gonna be considered evil, or like you're gonna get more evil karma. It's a karma system. Or like if you go for the doctors, like if you save the doctors, you're the doctors, they can do a lot of good, like for the people, because again people need medical supplies. So the doctors, they like if you save the doctors, they can obviously 20 hands is better than 2. So you go, and then like if you save the doctors, you get good karma. Then like I really like the setup, like for that, like it really philosophically, there's a lot of these philosophical questions. And through that though, there's the main villain, Kessler is basically, it's kind of confusing. There's time travel too. So Kessler is basically you from the future. He's come back. So he went back in time to 100 years before, to a group called the First Sons. So the First Sons, they're the ones that made the race fair. So Kessler, the future you, the future you goes back, and he's able to control the First Sons, because he has the same powers as you, electricity, except like he has more power because he's from the future. So he goes back in time. There's the First Sons. He's able to, since he's so powerful, he has the First Sons working for him, and then like you see them all rise up, and then later on, like in the game, like you fight some of the First Sons, and then you're fighting Kessler too. So like you basically fight the future self, and then like you get to understand how Kessler is like, no, you need to embrace these powers. Embrace it. The race fear is a very foundational powers. And then I believe there's one where there's a choice where, spoiler, skip ahead. There's a choice where you either destroy the race fear, or somebody else absorbs it or whatever. And then Kessler's like, no, you need to embrace your powers. You need to embrace it. You can't let, like, you're gonna need this like for the future or whatever. Then there's a philosophical, like he's kind of like more like, I forget about the people or whatever, like just, you could basically be like a god, like with these powers. Then Kessler and then Kessler, like he's basically, so like he's the main villain like for this game, but he's setting up like another villain. So the beast, there's like this beast, this massive 30-foot or 35 feet behemoth or whatever, a lava behemoth. The beast is basically, I remember how I said that somebody absorbed the race fear, like on purpose. So somebody accidentally actually did that, like an FBI agent or whatever, because they wanted to destroy it, but they become this beast. So Kessler is basically trying to test you, because Kessler knows the future, and then Kessler trying to see if toughen you up to make you fight this beast, which is an Infamous 2. So it's an Infamous 2. So I really like the tie-ins, and everything goes back and forth from the future Cole and past present day Cole, and very, very interesting, like very interesting. then they pick it, like they. However, the I think about this one, the gameplay, I would say, the game mechanics kind of slowed it down to older game. It didn't, like it, they, although the upgrade system like was very good, but the movement, like you're gonna be climbing a lot. There's lots of climbing, slow climbing buildings. Cause basically, Cole could do like parkour, like what do you call those acrobatic moves? So he can climb in these interesting ways or whatever. He can like jump over cars and yeah. But a great, like a good super, a comic book. Even though like it's not based on a comic book, but it's a nice, I don't know what you call it, a superhero type of sci-fi story. I really like it. Infamous 1. Prototype 1 now, similar to Infamous 1. A lot of people back in the days, 2009, they came out the same year. They compared these two games. So Prototype now, although I'd say Prototype is not as good as Infamous Story, but I'd say the gameplay is better. Because it's more faster pace. Prototype 1 now, you're Alex Mercer. You're in a research facility. All of a sudden there's this virus. So there's this thing called the Blacklight virus. And then Alex Mercer, he works for Gentech. Gentech, they do all sorts of research. So the virus, there's an outbreak like in the 1960s. And then 50 years later, there's another outbreak because Alex Mercer, I believe he wanted to expose something like about this company. Or they were like doing research, like wicked research or whatever on people. So there is this one vial. So there is a vial like of the virus in it. So I believe he throws it down. But then there's these SWAT soldiers, a Black Watch they call them. They come in, then they shoot up Alex Mercer.
Nick, you don't stairs?
When this happens now, basically, Alex Mercer. Okay, so the virus becomes Alex Mercer. So as a result of the vial, a virus like in the vial absorbs like your body or whatever. So and then like you see him wake up like in a morgue, and then you see him resurrect, so that he's not dead. You're basically kind of like Wolverine or Deadpool. So the virus, you become the virus basically. You become the virus. So I really like. So as a result, you can turn your hands like into these deadly shape shifting, sharp weapons, knives, whip fists, zip lines, hammer fists. Like they do a lot of damage. Then you basically like, it'd be this, like you're kind of like, man, like what's a Wolverine? So like you're kind of like Wolverine, but you're, like, you can basically, like you. Kind of have super speed. You have super speed. You can run up buildings. You're extremely durable. You have like super ultra strong. You can lift up like cars or whatever, and blowing up helicopters, and like that gives you like a lot of power. So I talked about this before in a Prototype 2. Prototype 2 is a sequel to this, but yeah, so like you get a lot of power. So the virus gives you like these powers. And then there's the unique ability. You can shape shift into anybody that you consume. So the virus, it like its main purpose is that it tries to consume biomass. So it can consume. So it consumes like any any living creature. So whether it be a human or animal, but there's no animal creatures like in this, like in the gameplay. There's only like humans. So you consume a human, then you become, so you can take on that human's form, so you can shapeshift into them. And it's weird, you even shapeshift into their clothes, with the clothes, which doesn't make sense. So you can shapeshift into SWAT, the Black Watch members, or military guards and scientists, as long as but you have to be able to consume them. Like you have to had previously consumed that person not to become them. So they're very unique. And then you see there's a political corruption. No, not political. There's a scientific corruption. There's people, like, and when you consume somebody, like you get to see the memories or whatever. So you get to find out the truth behind this whole virus. And and why the scientists are doing it. Then there's other mutated creatures out there like you, you know, and more powerful. So yeah, it's very much too. I just like in Infamous, the race fear. The a virus like is you know, like very much a mystery. The scientists experimented on people like back in the 1960s. They killed people. They killed whosoever that would expose about the truth behind this virus and all that. And they try to. The virus makes zombies. It makes all sorts of mutated creatures. It reminds me a lot of Resident Evil. The story reminds me a lot of Resident Evil. But you get to play as this super powered mutant creature, you know, being. And there's one point where you get injected by something. It's spoilers. It's like a variant of cancer, and so the cancer interferes with the virus, so you can't use your powers. You can't use your offensive powers, but you can still run fast and shapeshift. So yeah, I really like that tie-in, you know, to the game. It shows you that okay, even though you have all these powers, you're not invincible. You're not, you know, you can't be killed. And what's really unique is the game really uses the shapeshift mechanism, a mechanic. So you shapeshift into other people, into like a military guard, and then you're able to enter like a base. Or you know, like you consume a certain military guard with, let's say, tank is, you know, they're able to drive a tank, and then you learn from their memory how to drive a tank or whatever, or how to fly a attack helicopter. So you're basically gaining experience from consuming these people. Oh yeah, overall, like very nice, unique stories. Like they should make a movie. I think they were gonna make a movie in Infamous, but they scrapped it. I think there's fan-made movies on this. But yeah, like, and unlike Infamous, there's no karma system in Prototype. So for the most part, who you become is set in stone in Prototype. There's no choice. There's no good or bad. Like, you know, at the game already, I set it up for you. Whereas Infamous 1, at certain points in the game, there's gonna be different choices, and you know, and such and such. But yeah, anyways, that's, man. You have the race fear, the virus. You have electric powers. You have mutated. You're the mutated shapeshifter. It's amazing. Super durable, invincible. But yeah, like I go and look up, you know, Infamous versus Prototype 1, and you'll see there's people made a comparison between them. I think they made comic books based on these two. They made some comic books on them. On both our franchises. But Infamous went on longer. The Infamous franchise went on longer. The Prototype stopped after Prototype 2 because the Radical Entertainment went out of business, so they stopped making Prototype games. They remastered Prototype 1 and 2 for PS4. So yeah, but Infamous and Sucker Punch is still around. As you know, Sucker Punch made Ghost of Tsushima last year. I'm hoping they make an Infamous 4 in the future. Anyways, that's a video. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Thank you.